Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to be speaking today about digitization and how it's transforming business processes in construction and specifically infrastructure construction, because that's our main field of specialization. For those of you who don't know me, we haven't met yet, my name is Tammy Bronfen. I'm the marketing director at Datumate. It's really great to be here with everyone today. I'd like to welcome my colleagues who will be leading the discussion today together with myself. Go ahead, introduce yourselves.
Hey everyone, my name is Uriel Shirazi. I'm a director of sales engineering here with Datumate. I'm a civil engineer in my profession and with Datumate for more than 2 years.
Yeah, hi everybody. Thanks for joining. I'm Tom Jennings. My background's in physics and computer science. I've been flying drones and building drones in the construction industry for the last 12 years. And I'm a private pilot. I'm really excited to share some of my experiences with you today.
Perfect.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Tom. So in today's webinar, as I mentioned before, we're going to be discussing digitization trends in the construction industry. We thought it was a really good time to do it as we approach really fast. We're approaching the end of 2022. We're looking at the trends that we think were the most significant during this year and what we think is going to carry on in 2023, what additional trends there'll be in 2023. We'll also be discussing use cases following the trends, just to kind of give some real life examples of where these trends are being used, how digital construction is being used for very specific use cases across the industry. We'll also be looking at the challenges for adopting technology, the main benefits, and then we'll follow this with a Q&A section, session. So please feel free to use the Q&A feature, write any questions you may have, and we'll address them at the end of the webinar. So let's get started. I think we're ready.
Thank you very much, Tammy.
Yeah, I'll jump right in, Tammy. So drones, there's some really exciting developments. Most recently, Skydio released a new docking station. I think it's a really interesting project. It's going to allow for drones to autonomously fly from any job site. It's really going to improve the capture end of this the workflow, and I think it's a really interesting technology. They're going to do a lot with beyond visual line of sight. I mean, one of the most important things for me, though, is just the drone industry is forecast to blow up to $6.2 billion by 2027. So I think if you're not using drones now, you will be very, very soon.
Very interesting. Yeah. Thank you, Tom. I wanted to speak very quickly about BIM. I assume most of you know it, Building Information Modeling. It's very common in the vertical construction, high rises and buildings, mainly in the design, but also in the construction stages. But when it comes to the infrastructure construction projects, highways, railways, roads, BIM is only now starting to be used, mainly in the design stage and not in the construction. It causes a big loss of data between these two stages. And that's a big problem. It causes delays and errors during the construction. But when using BIM to track the progress of the project, it provides accurate site information and comparison to the designs. For example, the Flemish government uses Datubim in order to validate and approve invoices of earthworks contractors.
Thanks for that, Ariel. Yeah, artificial intelligence is a really exciting development. I've been tracking OpenAI, ChatGPT. There's a lot of chitter chatter about it in the news today. One of the really interesting things you can do with artificial intelligence now is write articles. I've been using it to write jokes just to check out the technology. So here's the joke that artificial intelligence wrote for me. What did the drone say when it crashed, Uriel?
What did it say, Tom?
Oh no, I'm grounded. Which it's really
That's nice.
witty for
Good one.
yeah. And so, but anyway, this artificial intelligence is gonna filter down into all sorts of technology. We're gonna see it in BIM, cloud computing, machine learning. It's all just exploding right now.
Yeah, actually, these days we see a lot of OpenAI and other AI websites that allow people to write and do all kind of stuff. So it's really interesting. Great. Another trend that we wanted to speak about, which is more related to construction, is digital twins. Digital twins are virtual models of assets, usually built using sensors that captures hundreds of thousands of points of data. They can be drones, laser scanners, 360 degrees cameras, and more. Usually, artificial intelligence and other technological capabilities are used to build these digital twins. And it's very common to generate digital twins for assets during the operation and maintenance phases, for inspections and other use cases. It's less common to use digital twins for the construction stage. But we see when our customers use digital twins during this stage, the construction stage, they have lots of benefits. Some of them are tracking the progress of the project in a safer way from the office, conduct calculations for billing, very accurate calculations, compare different construction stages to the design and to the schedule, use the digital twin for future claims management. And usually the digital twins, they live in the cloud. So they improve the collaboration between all the stakeholders. For example, the project manager, the superintendent, designers of different disciplines, foreman, estimator, and so on. Some of our customers also use Datumate to build their digital twin from the pre-bidding stage. And after they win the tender, they use Datumate for design collaboration, and later during the construction stage, of course, until the end of the project and the delivery to the owner of the project.
Thanks for that,
to you, Tom.
Yeah. So cloud storage, another huge development. It's just exploding right now. Data centers are growing all over the United States right now, and cloud storage and cloud computing is what allows us to take advantage of all these new technologies. AI, machine learning, everything is working through the cloud. And what that does is it reduces siloed data. One of the biggest problems for enterprises right now is data that's captured, but nobody or only certain team members in an enterprise are able to use that data. Cloud storage is going to open that up to everybody. It's going to connect the field and to the office and allow people to collaborate together much more easily. Back to you, Ariel.
Yeah, I fully agree about that. Now in our day-to-day life, we see that everything we do, almost everything we do, is on the cloud. If we do online spreadsheets or emails, of course, that's old already, shared folders and so on. So yeah, cloud is definitely here to stay.
Yeah, so
Tammy?
I think, yeah, that also brings us to the next trend, which is kind of, I think, everything coming together into one trend, which is, again, more of a business one, where we're seeing a lot more real-time communication and collaboration between stakeholders across the project lifecycle. So it could be within the same company, organization, enterprise. It could also be between different companies, between a general contractor and an owner, utility companies. Basically, what it's doing is it's helping to bridge the gap between people who work in the office and on-site personnel. And this is really the first step towards a more effective construction process, especially in remotely distributed business models, which are becoming more and more common today, especially post-COVID. And I think most people working in construction will admit that fragmented communication is one of the biggest pain points for construction teams. When they're trying to navigate lots of different designs, long project plans in terms of life cycle, time, lines, and communication with lots of different teams. And this often results in a lot of confusion, schedule delays, the need for rework and things like that. And just being able to share crucial information, having a single source of truth, really does minimize the potential for mistakes and pave the way for better data-driven decision-making. And it helps the supply chain to operate together so that everyone involved in the project is on the same page. So that's a really big trend we're seeing becoming more and more common in lots of different aspects of construction. Back to you, Varel.
Yeah, indeed, Tammy, and you have mentioned that we want to be more efficient. So another trend that is very related to this subject is insights and automated reporting. And of course, it's not a secret that reporting is one of the most consuming tasks for project managers and for the site team. When done manually, this process costs people many valuable hours every day on a daily basis. Digital tools are now playing a decisive role in automating the reporting process, as it has now become possible to generate detailed and accurate reports with a click of a button. This enables managers to focus on what really matters and leaves behind all the administrative burden that comes with this role. Thanks to storage of data in the cloud, it is possible also to create the reports retrospectively. So we don't have to generate each and every report right on the spot, but we can do it in the future in order to resolve disputes or improve future systems and processes. So that's a very interesting area or trend, these reportings.
Yeah, Aurel, I got a question for you. What kind of automated reports do you think are bringing the most value to construction companies now?
Perfect question, Tom. Great. So we see that there are many important and valuable reports in the construction industry. I think that the main ones are trend reports, materials reports, cost reports. This is very important also in the bid stage and when the contractor or the owner offer or receive the proposal for cost estimation concerning the workforce and the materials that will be used during the project. And of course, construction progress report. Everybody wants to know all the time what is the exact situation in the job site. When these reports are shared and when they are accurate, everyone involved in the project can made aware of where things stand and what still need to be completed. So I would say that the construction progress report is the most important from them all. And relating to that, I wanted to show you in a glimpse one of Datubeam's automated reports. In this example of a cross-section volume report that Datubeam automatically generated, we see a highway construction project, and this is the ortho photo that we see in the back. Overlaid on it are the cross-sections and the center line. The report provides accurate information about the different cross-sections according to the user requirements or specifications, and the calculation is done automatically by Datubeam. The user only needs to enter a few parameters, such as the start station, intervals of the cross-sections, and the company logo, even if he wants. And in this part of the report, you can see that Datubeam shows the designed top and bottom of the cross-section, the current site condition in the red line, the cut and the fill areas. Datubeam also provides a numerical cut and fill information for each and every station. It's a dynamic report, as you can see. That's a live report in our cloud. So the users can really zoom in and focus in the smallest and most important details. And at the end of the report, here you can see a chart with the total cut, fill, and net, exactly like the customer is used to see in any of his other reports that he used to do in the past. And one thing which is very interesting is that reduces the special skills that people need to have. In the past, if someone, only one person at the office could have done this report because he was a master in the CAD platform that this office uses. Now there is no need. You only need to receive the data and generate the report.
So that should probably, what about the time factor? Does that cut down on the time as well if
Yes, of course. That's a very good question. So we see or we compare with customers how they were doing or generating this report in the past. They used to send surveyors to the field. They used to measure several points, send the points or the measure points to the office, and then depending on the backlog and the workload, they would have generated the report few days, maybe even later, maybe a few weeks, depending again on how much work they have to do on other things. So in most of the time, the report is not relevant because the construction already progressed so much, so that's history. And with Datumate, within less than 24 hours from the flight, the model is ready. And then a few more clicks of a button, and this report is available for all the stakeholders that use Datumate. So that's a real time saver.
It's amazing. Okay. So I think, I think we've covered the trends. A lot of interesting things going on. We're seeing a lot more adoption in the construction industry, in the infrastructure construction industry. That said, there are still a lot of challenges that are preventing or, widespread adoption of these digitization trends in business processes and across all of the organizations. So, Tom, maybe you can just, give us a brief overview of the challenges that you're seeing in adopting digitization.
Yeah, absolutely. My experience is that proper training and onboarding is really the key to adoption. I have never met a project engineer or surveyor who said, sure, I've got plenty of time to devote to learning new skill set. Datumate was designed to match other software platforms our clients are working with, so we are complementing the work they are doing already. Our onboarding is a two-step approach at Datumate, online training that is self-paced, followed by one-on-one instruction. Using this system, we can get teams up and running and able to generate actionable data in days. This allows engineers and technicians to stay focused on the job at hand as they begin their partnership with Datumate. One of the first things I focus on with a new client is demonstrating the accuracy of the data by comparing to existing data sets. Building confidence and demonstrating that the technology is reliable and repeatable is critical. For me, it's all about developing a relationship with new clients and identifying the goals and success criteria. Once those are defined, we set timelines and work together to achieve these goals. I've been training construction teams with drones and cloud technologies for the last 10 years. As soon as engineers experience the power and ease of use of drone data, we get them to buy into the platform. Bottom line is that Datumate is simple to use with a huge return on investment.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is there are ways to overcome these challenges pretty easily.
Yeah,
well, and that's what we do, is we help people make that transition.
I think that Tom, when Tom is speaking about it, it sounds easy, but that's a process to build this trust, to make someone that works in a specific way for 20 years or more, to change the way he works and to trust it in terms of accuracy and validation of data. That's a real work, and that's why Tom is here with us. And he's doing that great. Yeah, thank you very much. So again, there are lots of challenges, but there are lots of benefits for the transition to digitization. And let's speak about some of them. We all understand that the technology has benefits. Some of them are easier way to collaborate and communicate. For example, one of our customers uses Datumate for his weekly and monthly meeting with the owner. In this meeting, the general contractor who uses Datumate presents on the big screen the project with all the issues and problems in different areas on the 3D model. So all the involved has a clear view of the site, not only on a black and white PDF paper, but in a full 3D mode. That's very easy when working remotely, especially with COVID. Now everybody is used to work remotely. So that is one great benefit, or maybe few benefits inside this example. It's much safer. There is no need to walk on dangerous places, no need to work in bad weather conditions. Digitization provides more accurate data. Therefore, we get more informed, we conduct more informed decisions. Going digital will save us money and time in the long term, and of course, improve the efficiency.
Okay, so there are definitely, we've spoken about, there are lots of benefits, there are challenges. And the benefits are, they're very clear in theory, but what we wanted to do today is make them a little more tangible and show some of the interesting use cases in the field where companies are adopting our platform, or in general, digitization, and using them in different ways to change the way they're working, business processes, and the benefits of that. So I think we can start with the first one.
All right, I'll jump on that. I want to tell you about Peel Excavating. They're an Oregon-based earth-moving enterprise dedicated to high-quality workmanship. As part of this commitment, Peel is adopting digital construction technologies. This includes DataBIM, Datumate's cloud-native SaaS 4D infrastructure data analytics platform. Peel started using this over a year ago to improve the accuracy of estimates to save time on the bidding process. Peel used DataBIM for the planning and construction of a storm retention pond at Hampton Lumber Mill in Wilhelmina, Oregon. The project started in mid-August 2022 and comprised 2 phases. The first phase involved the preparation of the pond and excavation. The second phase comprised storm drains and utility installation. Aaron found that drone images and analytics helped provide more accurate estimates for the bidding phase. He started using the DataBIM platform during the estimation stage of the Hampton Lumber Mill project, March 2022. His goal was to accurately estimate the cubic yards of material that would need to be extracted for the new pond, share the numbers with the company's estimators so they could calculate volume and determine cost for their final bid. This enabled the company to create a more accurate bid for the project, which they ultimately won. After using DataBIM for a year, Aaron had this to say: I introduced the platform to my project managers who are now able to track all the material on their own. It's super easy to teach them how to use it. They can just jump in and track the moving of dirt themselves. It's really great because on this job, we sometimes have as many as 15 dump trucks a day hauling material out. So instead of those guys trying to track all that in the field, you can fly the drone about once every week and track all that material automatically and remotely. Aaron went on to say that he had an 80% increase in time savings, 70% increase in collaboration, and 60% increase in accuracy estimates. So really great report from Oregon.
That's really interesting. It looks like they're doing that in the collaborative way. They really, all of the stakeholders use DataBIM, estimation, field engineers, even the drone operator. So that's amazing. Perfect. I'll speak about the next use case, which is design validation. The project is a green energy power transmission infrastructure in the UK with a very large general contractor. And the use case is that the design and planning of an underground power transmission cables offers multiple advantages, but also comes with the challenges that include coordination with multiple stakeholders to prevent any conflicts and objections prior to the construction. In the case of large offshore wind farm extension project in the UK, the owner and the operator of the project is a leading international alternative energy corporation located outside of the UK, while the general contractor is a British-based company, of course. The project involved constructing of a new 60 kilometers underground system of cross-country cables that will carry green energy from wind power from two offshore wind farms located offshore off the coast of the UK in Sheringham to a new onshore substation in Norwich. The distance is about 60 kilometers, as you can see here on the map. From there, the renewable power will be made accessible to and distributed, of course, to the UK homes and businesses. Datumate was used to design and plan the project accurately and ensure minimal disruption to the environment. Data from topographical survey was uploaded to Datumate, analyzed, and made accessible to all stakeholders involved in the project. In this example here, we can see the designated area for the substation with elevation points that were marked on Datumate's digital terrain model. The drainage designers were using Datumate during the design process. Having the ability to visualize the site with the elevation points made it much easier to decide where to locate the drainage channels, both in terms of construction, economic design to make it the cheapest to build, and also in terms of operation to provide the best results according to the specifications. We don't want lots of rain that won't be able to be evacuated from the substation. This digital approach to data capture, analysis, visualization, and reporting enable the teams to more easily define the construction boundary limits for the planning application during the design phase. Also, with access to accurate data from the field, analytics and reports, the route could be optimized in terms of cost and efficiency. Most importantly, it supported more collaboration by giving multiple users from the different companies access to a single source of truth from different locations and time zones. So eventually it was much more effective to use the design, to use Datumate for the design phase, especially in this case.
It's a really interesting project, Ariel. Must have been fun to work on.
Yes, indeed.
Nice. Yeah, so the next use case is also really interesting and exciting. You know, today companies are really struggling with a lack of manpower, and it's crucial to have tools in place that enable remote management and monitoring. In our next use case, I'm going to showcase how a large mining project in Brazil was remotely managed by a project owner in Australia. The owner needed a way to monitor the condition of assets and track the progress of work of different continents. This is a perfect example of a digital twin being used to remotely manage and monitor a project. In this image, we can see the open pit mine and the aggregate plant from 2 different dates. The diff tool inside of Datumate provides a simple and effective method for monitoring progress on the site. So we can use that slider to see what exactly is going on every day. So yeah, stockpile management is perhaps the most widely used worksite application for drones for one simple reason. Drones reduce the time required to measure and calculate stockpile volume. The traditional approach used to measure multiple points on each stockpile was called walking a stockpile. It was time-consuming and hazardous. Now you can use an RTK drone. A local technician can be trained to capture a 200-acre site in less than an hour. The data can be processed in Datumate in 12 hours, and accurate volume calculations can be made in minutes. All of the data can be exported as a PDF report, Excel spreadsheet, or in DXF format. The ease of surveying stockpiles with the drone means site teams can capture data more frequently, improving mine production and ensuring more consistent grades throughout the mill. For the owner, this resulted in a 12% increase in the mine's productivity. And another major benefit is that having survey personnel physically removed from the work site, so that the drone is really in the hazardous area.
Tom, I want to interrupt you for a second and just make sure that everybody understands. So the drone operator was flying the drone in this very steep mine and processed the images in Datumate, and they were doing all the measurements of the stockpiles before shipping or before selling them on Datumate, like we see here on the screen.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, the real problem with the traditional method is that you'd have to walk these steep stockpiles with a survey tool, and they're really steep. People were falling down. So now you just set up a safe zone inside of the aggregate plant and fly from there, and all of these measurements can be made quickly and easily.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah, I think really the aggregate sites are where drones really got started because it was just the perfect thing. Yeah, so in this image, what drones can do is provide an accurate and up-to-date visualization of work sites, allowing for better pit and dump design and management also. Regular flights can build up a visual record of change over time, allowing site managers to check monthly pit volumes and compare the current surface against previous data sets. By overlaying surface design files on a 3D model within the Datumate platform, teams can check conformance of the actual surface and determine the exact volume of material that needs to be extracted to meet that design. In this case, the owner was able to monitor and assess the haul road condition. The advanced analytics inside of Datumate empowers engineers to calculate haul road length, measure grades, and compare road design files. So in this case, the owners also found drones as the perfect tool for rapid and economical inspection of hard-to-reach areas. High-resolution images, including details and aspects not visible from the ground, are used by multiple departments in a variety of inspection workflows. In this case, the owner determined that there had been a significant hazard developing in the open pit mine and took the appropriate steps to safeguard employees. Later, the high wall did collapse. We can see in this image, top center. Geologists are able to use drone data for mine planning to avoid these catastrophic failures by modeling faults. So the return on investment for mining and aggregate sites with drones is realized improved productivity and safety combined with the dramatic cost and time savings measured in man hours.
Amazing, and that brings us to 2 slides back when you said that the surveyors were walking on the site or on the mine and measuring with their RTK every few meters or feet in dangerous slopes like this one. And I know that safety is one of the most important things when it comes to mines, because it's very dangerous and everything can change in a few seconds. So I'm happy that we can help a bit also with the safety, not only with efficiency. Great.
Yeah, Ariel, do you know what's funny about safety?
No, but I'm sure you'll tell me, Tom.
Nothing. There's nothing funny about safety.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, but seriously, yes, it's important to stay safe. Yeah, especially when working in mines.
100%.
And we're hearing that more and more from our customers on other projects as well, in general, stockpiles as well, especially in bad weather conditions. climates that are very hot, snow, stories of people falling, breaking something, being out of action. So it's definitely, helping in that aspect across the board. It's really interesting.
Indeed. Yeah. Thank you, guys. I'll jump directly to the next slide and the next use case to speak about automated quality assurance and clash detections. This is an example from a highway expansion project with a public construction group in Israel. Actually, this was a 2-year project of expanding a highway junction. Our customer, the general contractor in the project, conducted monthly drone flights, and the main targets were documentations, claims management, and also monthly billing. Since it was the general contractor who was working with us, the billing had 2 directions. First of all, to get paid for the work he conducted by the owner, and also to validate invoices of his subcontractors for materials, excavations, concrete, and so on. In this case, I will show you one small example of how Datumate helps to identify clashes early on. But we see many types of projects using Datumate to detect clashes before they actually happen, and not only in highways projects, but also when constructing new neighborhoods, utility projects, railroads, and more. So from the project planning to project delivery, unforeseen constraints and potential clashes are a major risk factor in infrastructure construction. In the case of large highway expansion project that involved the construction of 3 bridges, the challenge was twofold, since the project had to keep the main road running or working without disrupting the existing traffic. In this image, we can see the pre-construction condition with 1 road only. Here we can see the end result of the project. And now I will focus mainly on the area that the problem or the use case is talking about. You can see these bridges here. The first 2 side bridges were constructed while the existing middle bridge remained active and allowed traffic to flow. Only after the traffic was moved to the 2 new bridges, the existing road was demolished, the center one, and the construction of the central bridge began. The general contractor that was responsible for constructing the project used Datumate across the project lifecycle and gave different stakeholders access to a single source of truth and accurate data. This helped them to quickly detect potential clashes and mitigate their impact early on during the project. For example, during a routine check on the location of the middle bridge piles using Datumate, the project manager detected that the piles were designed on and under the 2 new bridges, as you can see, the 2 new side bridges, as you can see in the red circles. Due to the early detection of the bridge pile design error, the central bridge was redesigned based on an accurate model. By detecting this potential clash prior to construction, the design could be changed and an expensive mistake involving the new planned foundations colliding with the existing road could be avoided. The project designer had access to Datumate platform, so he performed this change of design rapidly and accurately right on the platform. In addition, more transparency and collaboration between all stakeholders resulted in streamlined change management processes, less delays, less disruption, and reduced costly rework. All in all, we spoke with the project manager, and she told us that she saved between 2 to 4 weeks from the critical path of the project. This task was on the critical path of the project, saving about $10,000 a day and about $200,000 in total.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's amazing. And again,
those are amazing results.
This is one small example. There are many more. And indeed, the next use case will speak about accurate billing reports and subcontractor invoice verification. Again, the project is in Israel. with one of the largest general contractors. It's a highway city bypass construction that runs over existing utility. For example, gas lines, water lines, communication, power, and more. The owner of the project is the Israel Road Company. In total, they were building 8 kilometers of this road to divert the traffic from the city. 2 lanes to each direction, separated by a concrete guardrail, will be built. The project started in March 2021 and is supposed to end on March 24. So going to the use case. Infrastructure construction projects usually involve complex supply chain and multiple stakeholders, as we all know. It can be extremely challenging to keep track on payments made to subcontractors, and even harder to verify that the amounts requested are accurate. In the case of a new highway city bypass construction project that runs over an existing utility infrastructure, in this case it was a gas pipe, the general contractor received an invoice from a subcontractor for an unplanned excavation. The volume that was billed appeared suspicious to the general contractor, who needed a way to verify it. The general contractor uploaded the subcontractor's surface to Datumate, showing the calculated surface with the wrong elevation. As we can see in the image here, the cross-section shows the terrain model that was captured by the drone in Datumate's model in gray, at elevation of about 83.5 meters, and even higher where the pipe is. This is the true bottom of excavation that the subcontractor reached to. Whereas the as-built that was provided by the subcontractor shows elevation of 82 meters. It means that the subcontractor claimed that he excavated more than 1 meter or more than 1.5 meters under the real bottom of excavation. Datumate also generated this heat map showing that the entire surface given by the subcontractor is under the true excavation that he conducted. Datumate gave the owner the accurate information and assurance to dispute the additional charge from the subcontractor. Following verification, the general contractor rejected the subcontractor's request for additional payments for 2,000 cubic meters of earthworks excavated twice, because it's excavation and then filling, saved $50,000 US to our customer and to the general contractor.
Boy, that's an easy return on investment for Datumate, huh?
Exactly. Yes, that's amazing.
Ariel, let me just kind of summarize then what we've some of the trends we're seeing, and you know, a skill shortage right now and a lack of training and workers' inherent aversion to technology is playing a huge role in infrastructure construction industry's reluctance to adopt new technology. So Datumate clients are able to leverage the power of cloud computing, artificial intelligence in a user-friendly and easy-to-learn platform. So the future of infrastructure construction is all about capturing data, analyzing and collaborating so owners and builders can keep construction operating at peak efficiencies and react more quickly. Key enabling technologies like drones, AI, BIM, and the cloud will be more important than ever as tools for making all that data more accessible and usable. You know, the way I see it, the future of infrastructure construction isn't about replacing human workers. It's all about complementing their work and enabling them to work more efficiently and effectively.
I fully agree with you. Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that wraps up our presentation for today. I think we're going to jump right into some questions and answers. Let me pull up our. Oh, we got a bunch of great questions here. This one is from David. is your service available in the U.S.? I'll take that one.
Yeah, Tom,
yes.
you are our US ears, eyes, and legs on the ground. So go ahead. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, feeding all information back to our team engineers. But yeah, we're definitely available everywhere. We're a cloud-based service. For security and privacy reasons, we have 2 Amazon Web Service instances spun up, one for the US and one for Europe. We're working with a large number of DOTs in the United States and a big general contractor. So platform can be used for digital construction, site measurements, project progress, and quality control.
Perfect. By the way, I'll mention, Tom, that we do have several customers that like the UK project that we saw, where the owner was outside of the UK and the contractor was a British-based company. We see sometimes that our customers have projects in the Middle East, but they are US-based companies. Or like we saw that the mine is placed in Brazil and the owner is based in Australia. So in many cases, Datumate helps to bridge the gap of time zones and distance. So yeah, we are available worldwide.
Also within the US, I think that's really important to mention. We recently spoke to a customer who said that they've started bidding for projects in a state that's not adjacent to where they're living, quite far away, and that without a digital platform, they usually wouldn't even, they wouldn't try because of the flights, because of getting there. It's just too expensive, takes too many resources, but it's kind of opening up a lot more projects for them in places that they wouldn't have considered doing them before. So that's interesting as well in terms of use cases.
Nice.
As well.
Okay,
yeah.
Great.
And now after COVID and everybody wanting to work remotely, it really is a great platform to be able to access data from your home, your office, from a tablet in the field, from your and be able to collaborate across all the teams, right?
Exactly.
Okay, let me see here. We got another question. Let's see, Earl, I'll send this to you. What types of drones do you support?
Okay, that's a good question. So Datumate is drone agnostic. We support all drones, all standard drones, as long as they provide with GPS information in the images. We do have some specifications. For example, the camera should be at least 20 megapixels. That's in order to provide a good and accurate digital model. It's not recommended to work with drones that has less megapixel in the camera. Something else that is recommended is RTK drones. So most drones use, or all current drones use GPS and provide GPS information in the images. But RTK drones, real-time kinematic drones, they provide another correction to the location of the image. It makes it more accurate, and it reduces the need to use so many GCPs. Only 1/3 of the GCPs, ground control points, needed to be used when using RTK drones. So another interesting tool that we have is that we have a drone operator, a user that can support multiple customers. He can upload the images directly from his drone to Datumate without having access to the data of the customer. It means that the same drone operator, if it's an internal drone operator, if the company has a drone program, he cannot get access to the real data, to the processed models, but he can only deliver the images to the project managers. It makes the process much faster and safer, especially when it comes to an external drone operator.
That's a great security consideration.
Yes, and actually that was a request that came from our customers, and we saw that it's important, and we have decided to add it to our capabilities.
Okay, we got two more questions, I think. First one is Datumate currently using artificial intelligence or machine learning? I'll jump on that one. And yes, we've got a really exciting program right now where we're using machine learning to identify and mark ground control on the ground. So we trained the system to be able to identify the vast majority of ground control symbols that people use on the ground. So our platform will go in, find those for you, and mark them. It's a huge time saving for the pilots. But beyond that, what it allows you to do is we now have something called auto georeferencing. And what that supports is that you do ground control on the first flight at a site, and then after that, the artificial intelligence will identify monuments that are consistent between the flights and use those to georeference projects. So big time savings and just really interesting work. I think we're also going to be doing a lot more with automated reporting, and clash detection is kind of what I see as an obvious.
I agree. Yeah.
See, one more question, or I'll give this to you. What kind of design files do you support?
Great, good question. So Datumate supports most of the CAD designs that our customers use, starting from DXF, DWGs, DGNs, land XMLs that Datumate uses mainly to generate surfaces. For example, for the automated cross-section volume report, or to generate other surfaces for volume calculations or cross-sections in the platform. And Datumate also supports IFC designs, 3D designs. Actually, several of our customers use them, and they start when using IFC. They usually use them during the design stage to see how the 3D model incorporates with the reality. And then when they continue to the construction, they continue to use the IFCs to monitor the construction. So these are the types of formats that Datumate supports.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to see the three-dimensional IFC files overlaid on top of the existing surfaces to be able to visualize what the site's going to look like at the end. And I know it's great for morning meetings to be able to show the design versus real world.
Correct. Yeah, we'll keep something for next time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think we can actually wrap up. We don't have additional questions. Thank you everyone for joining and taking the time out of your day to join us and hear about the different digitization trends, how they're changing business processes in infrastructure construction. We had a great time giving it. We hope you enjoyed it as well.